Hi guys, this is Quick Notes, and today I am going to give you a summary and analysis of the great novel of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. Starting off with a brief summary, George Milton, a small, defined man, and Lenny Small, a mentally handicapped giant, walk in search of jobs as ranch workers. George, knowing Lenny's history of unintentionally causing problems, tells Lenny to return to a nearby creek in case of trouble. The unusual pair constantly dreams of owning their own farm. Lenny talks often of tending rabbits, though remembers little else. At the ranch, Lenny scuffles with the boss's arrogant son, Curly. One afternoon, Curly's wife finds Lenny sulking. She allows him to stroke her hair. Unaware of his great strength, Lenny pulls too hard and mistakenly breaks her neck. Remembering George's instructions, Lenny runs to the creek. Curly seeks to kill Lenny as revenge. George finds Lenny and knows he must kill Lenny himself in order to protect Lenny from Curly's vengeance. George shoots Lenny in the back of the head, and their dream is instantly shattered. Now on to the analysis. Let's first discuss the historical influence of the novel. The novel was written and is set during the Great Depression of the 1930s. During the Depression, it was common for men to travel from place to place in search of short-term jobs. Many people worked hard and earned little to show for their efforts. Steinbeck's novel eloquently portrays the lowest level of livelihood during this time. He makes the reader feel compassion and sympathy for a hard existence that is made even more difficult due to uncontrollable circumstances. The harsh economic conditions of the time victimized workers like George and Lenny, whose dream of owning land was destroyed by forces beyond their control, and whose tragic separation was marked by a true companionship. A friendship this deep was rare in this unforgiving setting. The book also had great cultural influence. The life of a migrant farmer was a harsh and unforgiving one. In Of Mice and Men, Steinbeck shows how strenuous, demanding, and unfulfilling the lives of traveling workers could be. Just as George and Lenny dream of a happier life on a farm of their own, farmers in the Midwest dreamed of obtaining a better life in California. Despite these constant dreams, very few found California to be the land of opportunity and wealth that they thought it would be. The novel followed two main themes: the human need for companionship and the impossibility of the American dream. Starting with the human need for companionship, everyone longs to be loved and appreciated by others. In the novel, Steinbeck illustrates the harsh effects of isolation through the supporting characters. Candy longs to become part of Lenny and George's dream, as he fears abandonment as he ages. Crooks, the stable hand, comments about his isolation from the regular bunkhouse because of his race. His words verbalize the true destruction seclusion can cause. Even the flamboyant Curly's wife is driven to act ostentatiously out of loneliness. She forces conversation with Lenny because none of the other men wants to risk a confrontation with Curly. Ironically, Curly's wife's pathetic attempt at a friendship with Lenny eventually results in the destruction of George and Lenny's comradeship. Their deep bond is what makes the relationship between George and Lenny so unique. While most other farm workers are completely alone in the world, George and Lenny find a true compassion and brotherhood in one another. Their unique friendship is what makes the tragic end to their relationship so lamentable. Moving on to the theme, the impossibility of the American dream. For centuries, America has been viewed as a utopia of new possibility and bountiful opportunity. However, many have found that the United States was not the giver of good fortune they had hoped. In Of Mice and Men, George and Lenny dream of reaching their own American Eden by owning their own farm. However, unforeseen forces beyond their control crushed the friends' vision of a better life. Deep down, we all know the idea of reaching the American dream is often too good to be true. Sadly, hard work and self-reliance do not always result in happiness, wealth, and success. Reality finally hits George as the chance of achieving their dream is abruptly shattered. In contrast, Lenny died believing in his dream, but it only truly lived in his imagination. And last but not least, about the author. John Steinbeck was born in Salinas, California on February the 27th, 1902. Often read by his mother, a teacher, John was exposed to famous literary works at an early age. He attended Stanford University from 1920 to 1925, although never received a diploma. Not caring to finish his degree, Steinbeck moved to New York and briefly worked as a newspaper writer before returning to California. Steinbeck's early novels, Cup of Gold, 1929, The Pastures of Heaven, 1932, and To a God Unknown, 1933, did not attract significant attention. However, Tortilla Flat, 1935, a realistic book about the poor Spanish speakers of Monterrey, was very well received. Steinbeck went on to write many compassionate books about the California life that surrounded him. Migrant workers were often the topic of his novels. In Dubious Battle, 1936, Of Mice and Men, 1937, and his most celebrated work, The Grapes of Wrath, 1939, all depict struggling farmers. Some of Steinbeck's other works include The Long Valley, 1938, The Sea of Quartz, 1939, Bombs Away, 1942, The Moon is Dawn, 1942, Cannery Row, 1945, The Wayward Bus, 1947, The Pearl, 1947, East of Eden, 1952, and Sweet Thursday, 1954. In 1962, Steinbeck was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature. He died in 1968 of arterial sclerosis. Thanks for listening to this summary and analysis. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more book summaries and similar content.